Hello, everybody. I'm here with a special live stream where I'm going to open up this package that I got and see what's inside. But before we do that, I just want to make a little bit of a note about this Spider-Man Epic Collection reprint. So Volume 16, or sorry, Volume 15, Ghosts of the Past, was one of the very first Spider-Man Epic Collections. It's so old that it even uses the old Epic Collection font. They changed the fonts at one point. You can see in the C's there that the letters curve all the way around. Bottom font, all of the fonts, they were all different. They all changed after, I don't know, like 20 epics or something like that. I don't know why, but it's one of these epic collections that has been out of print for a while, and people have been wanting it, and so people voted on it, and yes, we are getting a reprint. And this is important because this old one uses the old paper from R. Donnelly, and it's kind of yellow, so this new copy will be nice and white and crisp for you. But people were asking me in the last stream when I unboxed this one, is this one using the new restorations that the Masterworks have been doing? And I can say right now that they are not doing it. And the main reason why is because the Masterworks, Amazing Spider-Man Masterworks Volume 25 isn't even out yet. So they're not going to premiere the new restorations in this reprint. They're going to wait for the Masterworks to come out first. Also, the Masterworks only goes up to issue 270, and this book goes up to 272. So there will be 2 issues in the Volume 26 Masterworks that will also have to be newly restored as well. So if this one sells out and they finally get around to doing yet another printing of this, I bet you then we will see the new Masterworks restorations. But at this point, this one isn't any different than the original version. Now, hold on a second. I say that it's not different, but there is some slight differences. And I'm going to see if I can show this best as I can when I just hold it up. So this is the very first issue in the original edition, okay? And it's going to be very hard for me to hold this up. I just want you to see what it looks like. How am I going to do this? I'm going to ruin these books. Well, let's see if I can get this done here. The colors are a little bit different. You can see in the skin tone right here, this is the original, nice proper skin tone, and then very red in the new version, in the new update. All of the colors in this are darker than the original. Sorry, I can't really hold it up for you very well. If you flip through the reprint, it's not terribly noticeable on all pages, but there are some pages where it just stands out, and especially when you just compare it to the other one, the colors are a lot darker compared to the other printing. Now, and I don't know if that's because of the paper that's being used, if this paper doesn't soak up the ink as much, and it just kind of lays on top, and it just sits there and is nice and dark. Because this other paper is a little bit different, and if it is more absorbent, and maybe the yellowing of this paper has something to do with it too, but they are just everything is a lot darker. So here, I'll see if I can hold this up. This is what we're talking about. Original and the new one, which is darker. It's almost like they changed the color of Spider-Man, and if that were the case, then that would be, if they just changed all of the reds, but it's actually reflected in a lot of the other tones as well. So I'm not sure. Anyway, there you go. If you have the original, I'd stick with the original. That's my own personal preference. I think the colors just look better in the original rather than this reprint. But if you don't have it and the reprint's your only option, then you can go for it as well. For the most part, when you're just reading it on your own, it's not actually going to be really noticeable. So there you go. Anyway, let's take a look at this package. Let's see what's inside. What epic collection is coming out next? It is Deadpool. Deadpool Epic Collection Volume 4, The Drowning... Oh, sorry, Dead Reckoning. Volume 3 is The Drowning Man. That's coming up next year. This one, Dead Reckoning. They skipped ahead. They've released Volume 1 and Volume 2, then they skipped ahead to Volume 4. Not sure why. If any of you have some insights, that would be great, because I don't know why they would just kind of skip over, especially since they're doing Volume 3 next year. Yeah, I know. Feels like, yay, Deadpool. When this series came out in, what was it, 1997 or something like that, I read the first few issues and then didn't really read any more. Wasn't as interested. Oh, this is interesting. So the paper is a little bit more glossy than this one. Let me just check this Spider-Man one. Is this the same paper? Because sometimes with these 90s books, when they went to the glossy stock, they try to reproduce it a little bit with the paper stock that they're using now. But I think it's the same. I think it's the same paper. It just looks glossier because this is full bleed art, and so it covers the entire thing. Just a lot more colorful than the old comics, that's for sure. But I'm pretty sure it feels like the same paper. Okay, there are some cool moments here. I like that. Okay, what was I saying before? The Deadpool, yeah, I collected the first few, and then that was it, because it was a character that didn't appeal to me all that much. But I've been going through some of these epic collections now, and it's a lot of fun. I do enjoy some of these 90s Deadpool comics. And I know that the character has kind of grown on beyond what we see in these books here, but he's fun. What is this? Dr. Bong, is that his name? He's an old Howard the Duck bad guy from the Steve Gerber and Gene Colan days. There you go. Let's see what we have. Some comments here. D-Rock is on the stream and says, I've been trying to collect all the epics for the last 2 to 3 years, but they are pumping them out more than my wallet can handle. Yeah, isn't that the case? I think anybody who's just jumping on epics now is going to have a hard time for sure. I was fortunate in that I was able to jump on almost near the beginning when they were only doing like one a month. And now they're doing one a week, and in a lot of cases it's more than one a week. So I do feel sorry for those of you who are trying to catch up, because it is, I think, near impossible at this point. He says now he tries to focus on books that include the content that isn't on Marvel Unlimited. That's a good plan. Most of it does. I find that as soon as the epic comes out, they put those issues on Marvel Unlimited, so there shouldn't be a whole lot where that's the case, but you never know. T. Butler says, hey, Kurtis, hope all is well. Just popped in. That second, may have answered this earlier, but any ideas when you and Omar will be doing the upcoming epic reprint schedule? No idea at all. Marvel hasn't given that information to us yet. I think that they are still trying to wrap their minds around the omnibus schedule and all the ROM announcements and stuff like that. They've had their hands full. So unfortunately, I don't know when that's happening. And then Omar's going to Japan for a couple of weeks, I think, on a vacation in the mid-June. So if it doesn't happen before that, we're not going to see it until July at the earliest. So can't really say. Phil Owens says, only a writer who was around in the 60s and 70s could call a character Bong. That's true. And Steve Gerber is probably a good one of them. So that's funny. Oh man, what's this guy's name? He dresses like a chicken. He was in old old Defenders and old Avengers issues. The Talon? Captain Talon or something like that? How come I can't remember his name? That's great. I actually really love that Deadpool pulls out these obscure characters like Dr. Bong. That's really, really great. Mr. Moon. There's somebody on the stream called Mr. Moon, and he says, what Marvel Epic Collection series is the best? Well, that's going to be totally personal preference because everybody has their own preferences of a character. Did you hear my doorbell? Someone's knocking on my door. But I'm not going to answer that because I'm with you. You all people like you better than whoever's knocking at my door. I love Spider-Man, so I'm partial to saying Spider-Man is the best. I also really love the Fantastic Four, so that would be another one that I pick. Okay, so I just checked this out. Look at this. We got some bonus features at the back, but they left one page completely black. They couldn't find like a house ad or a swimsuit page or like one more page of original art that they could have put on the back to just, they had to keep it black. That's kind of weird. Otherwise, this book looks good. It's looks like a 90s comic. Oh, there's another big black page. It's kind of strange. That, I wonder if that's intentional or if they made a mistake and that's why we have two black pages. One should be flipped around. I'm not sure. Oh, there's a few black pages. They must have been advertisements that they're cutting out because it looks like they have, what is this one called? The Encyclopedia Deadpoolica. That's one of the bonus things at the back. It's an entire page. It's an entire bonus issue of Deadpool bonus features. So I'm sure that those are just actually advertisements that they're blacking out here. For all you Deadpool enthusiasts, there's the back cover. This has Deadpool number 0, as well as Deadpool 21 to 33, Deadpool Team Up number 1, and then, like I said, the Encyclopedia Deadpoolica. Let's see. There's a lot of comments coming up here. Not going to answer the door. Could be more epics. No, it's the neighborhood kids. They're looking for my children, who I think are already outside, so they should just look outside for them. What is the most expensive out-of-print epic currently? Great question. I don't know. I don't keep track of what the going rates are for them, but I'm pretty sure it's probably a Star Wars, like Volume 4, New Republic Volume 4. Something like that. It's my guess. Let's see here. Well, I'm also curious on what your opinion might be for reprints of the Stan Lee Spider-Man epics, specifically volumes 5, 6, and 7. We've been getting some recently, so I'm hoping volume 7 was reprinted, I think, last year. It's probably already, or maybe it was even 2 years ago at this point. It's probably already out of stock, though, yeah. Volume 5 is the Petrified Tablet. That's going to be reprinted later this year, actually. Volume 6 is Captain Stacy, and we'll have to see if that one gets reprinted or not. Actually, I think Captain Stacy was in the top 20 reprint poll, so when we get around to announcing the new reprints, that could be one of them. So those ones, there's a good chance that you're going to be able to get all of those soon. And Volume 7 being the Death of Gwen Stacy volume, that one's bound to be reprinted again. Is Under Siege your favorite Bronze Age Avengers arc? That one is really good. Under Siege and Judgment Day, those are fantastic volumes. Yeah, really, really good stuff. It might be my favorite Bronze Age. I mean, I guess it depends on when you start Bronze Age. I don't know. The stuff around the Final Threat, there's some good stories in there as well. I enjoyed that volume a lot. But yeah, I think probably Under Siege is probably my favorite for sure. Let's see, other comments here. Black Talon, that's what it is. Black Talon. The guy that dresses like a chicken. Very, very strange costume. I don't know what he was thinking when he designed that, but there you go. Thanks, David, for correcting me on that one. The Cap Grunwald volumes are really expensive too. Yeah, there are some of them like Bloodstone Hunt and Superior Stratagem that kind of went out quickly and then they shot up in price. That's true. I hope that they will get reprinted at some point as well. Comic Swag says, "Caught you live." Yeah, we're talking about Deadpool because I just got this one in the mail. Also talking about a Amazing Spider-Man reprint, but yeah, what is your favorite era of Deadpool? Everybody out there, if you like Deadpool, and I know Phil's gonna say his favorite era of Deadpool was before Deadpool was created, right? But do you have a favorite run or a favorite creator on Deadpool? Just let me know. I would love to know because my knowledge of Deadpool is pretty lacking. I'm only going to kind of learning as I'm going through these epic collections. So my other question is, should I read this one right away or wait till volume 3? Because this is volume 4. Should I wait till volume 3 comes out? Or does it not matter? I don't know. I definitely will read the Spider-Man Deadpool epic collection when it comes out in the fall because I'm a big Spider-Man fan. And the few issues that I've read of that one, I quite enjoyed. Jeff Healy says the original Deadpool. Would that be like the original like X-Force era, Rob Liefeld, Fabian Nicieza Deadpool stuff? Or are you talking about when Joe Kelly launches his ongoing series? I don't know. Anyway, anything else you want to see? There's not much more to show. Nice Captain America appearance in this one here. Some Skrulls. I see some Skrulls. And there's Captain America again. And there's Dr. Bong again. Yeah, so speaks Dr. Bong, says right there. Great villain from the Howard the Duck age. If you haven't seen those Howard the Duck complete collections, gotta check it out. Wolverine makes an appearance in this one. Can't get much more 90s than Bone Claw Wolverine sticking it to Deadpool. That's pretty good. Nick says, any new Clover ALC aside from Dick Tracy? I just received Terry and the Pirates 4 to 6, and they're fantastic. I have my box of Terry and the Pirates 4 to 6 as well. I haven't opened it up yet because I think I'm going to do that on Omar's show at some point. Any new Clover ALC? What does ALC stand for? I can't remember. Aside from Dick Tracy. Oh, you probably mean LOAC. Library of American Comics. Any new Clover Library of American Comics aside from Dick Tracy? Yes. There is more stuff in the works, but none of that stuff has been locked in yet, so I can't really say publicly, but we are looking at to do some more comic strip books for sure. Yep. Dr. Bong might be in She-Hulk Volume 3. Yes, he is in Volume 3 because She-Hulk has a big story arc called the Cosmic Squish Principle with Howard the Duck. There you go. And it's written by Steve Gerber. So yeah, he brings back his character there. What another comment here. I've been lucky to say I've been able to get lots of the Grunwald Cap epic through his local comic shop. So that's good. Instant Badass says the only Deadpool I've ever read was Night of the Living Deadpool, which was exactly as it sounds. Way trying to survive the zombie apocalypse. I have read that too, and I really enjoyed it because I love zombie movies and zombie shows and stuff. So that one was quite fun. What are the LOAC at Library of American Comics Dick Tracy's that are being released? Okay, so here's the deal. IDW founder Ted Adams is a huge Dick Tracy fan. So he got the rights to reprint the Dick Tracy comic strips. And so he and Robbie Robbins over at IDW did the first 6 volumes. That was right around the time when Dean Mullaney was starting up the Library of American Comics. And he and Ted go way back. And so Dean was like, I'd love to publish some books. can we do this as a partnership so you can distribute them? And Ted was like, yeah, sure, let's do it. So he did Terry and the Pirates, did Little Orphan Annie, and then Ted said, hey, why don't you take over Dick Tracy as well? And the Dick Tracy books were the same size as, if you've seen the Peanuts books that Fantagraphics is doing, they're kind of a little bit smaller size. And that really compresses the Sundays, especially because, you have a smaller format. And then when Dean got it with volume 7, when he started with volume 7, he blew it up to 8.5 by 11 landscape. And so everything's much bigger. So the big question that everybody has always emailed us at LOAC saying, when are you going to do volumes 1 through 6 at the larger size so that all of my volumes match? And the time has come. We are going to do them. And so starting in September, we will be releasing volumes 1 through 6 over the course of 6 months. You'll get them all in the larger size to match volumes 7 through 29. Can you believe there's 29 volumes of Dick Tracy collecting 2 years at a time? Almost 2 years at a time. They don't exactly line up because we cut them where the storylines are. Okay, other comments here. Is it plausible to expect things like Jason Aaron Thor in Modern Comics, Age of Apocalypse, or Morrison X-Men in the Epic lines? Jason Aaron, I'm absolutely sure we'll see. It's one of the most well-regarded storylines of the past 10 years, so I'm sure that they will bring it to the Epic collections at some point. Age of Apocalypse is a good question. I know that Generation X, Wolverine, and I think X-Force now, they've all skipped over those story arcs, the Age of Apocalypse storyline, because it doesn't really have any bearing on the reading experience. When you just remove those, it would confuse people more than anything. I kind of think that they'll put the entire Age of Apocalypse, like all of the storylines, in X-Men Epic collections, because that's like, you get to the point where Legion travels back in time and changes the timeline, and then what are they going to do? Put a timeline with a little text box saying, oh man, there is this massive adventure that we really love and it's amazing to read, but we're not going to show it to you. We'll just recap it right here. Oh, by the way, the timeline gets restored. Let's get on with the story. No, I'm hoping that they'll put all of Age of Apocalypse in the X-Men Epic collections. As for the Morrison X-Men line, again, super popular at the time, and I think they'll reprint it, and whether it'll be in the modern era or not, I have no idea. It'll probably be modern. The only Deadpool I read was the very short arc by Paul Chadwick and Jimmy Palmiotti. I haven't read that, so I'll have to check that one out at some point. More comments here. Looking forward to the eventual Captain America Modern collection that covers Rick Remender's early run with Steve Rogers, the Dimension Z or Dimension Z if you're American stuff, and the nuke fight. Basically, the first half of Remender. Is that when he gets really old? He gets stuck in Dimension Z Dimension Z for a long time, right? And then that's when one of the times when Falcon has to take over as Captain America, I believe. I can't remember. Or maybe Winter Soldier takes over. Any idea why Epics don't collect Spectacular 200, The Death of Harry Osborn? Well, they're probably saving that for the Spectacular Spider-Man Epic collections. I mean, that story doesn't tie into what was going on in Amazing Spider-Man at the time, right? So while it is the death of a notable character, it's the effects of it aren't felt in Amazing Spider-Man, as far as I know. You can correct me if I'm wrong. So as far as the reading experience goes, it's fine to keep it out. And when we get those eventual Spectacular Spider-Man Epic collections, it'll be there. Phil wants a Dr. Bong Epic line. How how many issues is Dr. Bong in? Would he be able to fill up one Epic collection? Who knows? I don't know. Good Nacht. I'm pretty sure that probably says good night. Sensational Kurtis. Thanks, Axel. Have a good night too. Just 8 seconds for Dr. Bong. Oh man, yeah. Okay, well, we'll get right on that. Right, we'll petition for a Dr. Bong Epic collection. Wouldn't that be something? Or at least a complete collection, or the saga of Dr. Bong. How about that? Okay, well, everybody, it's been nice chatting with you all. I think that if you are on the other side of the world, like Axel Plate, I'm assuming in Germany, maybe. So it says it's almost 2 in the morning, so you should probably get to bed. The rest of you. Okay. One more question. You're goading me into this. This is a good one. What do you think that when they do the Sam Wilson as Captain America, Marvel will have 2 Captain America epic lines, one for Steve, one for Sam, or just a single one, single Captain America epic line? I bet they'll put them together. And when they had those 2, didn't they have a big crossover storyline in that too? So I'm guessing that they'll stick it together. Oh, he's 5 kilometers away from Germany in the Netherlands. Right. Okay, good. And then David C is in India, 5 a.m. What are you doing up so early? Or are you staying up really late? For me, it's like 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Do you think Omar will ask David Gabriel to turn Rom into an omnibus first? Do you think Omar asked David Gabriel to turn Rom into an omnibus first to force you into buying it? Yeah, that would be something that he would do, wouldn't it? I am going to probably get that omnibus because we've learned from, even though this is a shorter series, we learned from Conan and we learned from Master of Kung Fu that the licenses don't stick around forever, and those epic collections don't come out fast enough. I think that was the main problem. If they come out, although Conan was coming out like 3 a year, but they were super thin volumes. Plus, there's like 270 issues, so that was problematic to begin with. Oh, T. Butler's in Newfoundland. No, that's good. You have your own time zone, 9:30 at night. Look at that. You're way ahead. Okay, when will they reprint X-Men Epic #1? I believe that one made the top 20 poll as well, so hopefully we'll see that in 2024. Anyway, I really got to go now. So for real, thanks everybody for watching my live stream. I will be back to talk about whatever gets mailed to me next and answer some more questions. So thanks everyone.